Hello everyone and welcome back to my final review of SBK22. Now, you might know there is a lack of Superbike content on the channel, and that's because the game is pretty broken at the moment, and as the time of recording, so I'm hoping to start a new series, not Career Mode series, in the next couple of days, so look out for that. But today we're doing my final review. Now I have about 10 or 11 hours on the game. I've tested all game modes as best I can, and today I'm going to give my final feedback on the base game, the gameplay, the career mode, the time trial modes, everything in the game really. Give you a bit of feedback on all of it, tell you if it's worth the price, and just go over the game as in depth as possible. So we're going to start off with what I believe to be the most important, arguably the most important, is the gameplay. Now, coming from MotoGP 22, SBK 22 is a slight improvement, very minor. Unfortunately, there is a lot of flaws once again, and even if they weren't there, I still think they mightn't be the greatest game. The bikes feel quite sluggish to me. The rear end is really floaty on corner entry. You cannot brake at all in this game, so there's so many broken features once again. Of course, then you can look at the curbs, the AI, they're all really jaggedy at the moment. So overall, it's not in a great position at the moment. Now, if it is supported and patched and fixed, maybe it'll be a decent arcade-ish bike game. It's definitely not anywhere realistic at all, and unfortunately that's where it kind of pisses me off in a lot of aspects, is that it's so kind of dulled down, and it's not great in many aspects. So for me, bike floating around and the braking and the curbs are probably the worst three things about the gameplay. I can get over some of them, but just the fundamentals of the game at the moment are wrong for me, and it just means now if they did to patch the curbs, which I don't believe they will, because curbs have been an issue in every single Milestone game ever, so they're not going to fix them. So the curbs that we have now, I guarantee we will have at the end of the game cycle. The corner entry is so hard, it just pushes and doesn't turn and it doesn't brake. Don't really understand why they made it so unenjoyable to play. I do understand that these aren't GP bikes, they're not meant to handle like GP bikes, but they're just poor feeding bikes anyway, so it's kind of on the fence of whether how bad this game is to me at the moment. But it's just slightly a letdown again. I was hoping for maybe a bigger step than what we got, and when we got this, all the bugs on career mode and such that we'll get to in a second, just a bit let down. So overall, gameplay isn't there at the moment. The physics for me aren't great, as well as some game breaking bugs as always. Now we're going to move straight on now to the gameplay modes. So we'll have career mode, time trial, online, and of course we have the quick race. Now all of them seem to work fine, bar, you guessed it, career mode. Probably the most in-depth, arguably the most important game mode of a bike racing game is the career mode. At the moment, if you do Super Pole and Race 1, they don't work exactly like a race, they work as like a weird qualifying race time. Don't ask me how, I've played around with them, they don't work. It's kind of annoying because there's nothing really you can do with it, and it has put a lot of people off career mode. You know, you might notice a lot of the big YouTubers haven't put up much content in the terms of career mode just because of this fact. So a lot of people are hoping it'll be patched soon. I'm a bit skeptical on how long it'll take to be patched. This is the week today since the release of SBK, and we've had no word from Milestone yet whether they're patching it, whether they've acknowledged that they know the issues there and they're working on them. So we're in the dark and we really don't know what's going on. So unfortunately, career mode is put on hold for a lot of people, including just the average player who just wants to play the game. They can't really play it because it is very broken. Now time trial seems to work fine. Online has a lot of weird bugs and glitches where you get disqualified very easily, and just overall unfinished game is kind of the vibe I get from this game. Quite rushed, and unfortunately it does show in the final build, and it's a bit of a shame this is the final build because it's nowhere near what it could be. It could be, like I said, a decent arcade-ish bike game, but at the moment it's just a buggy mess, and a lot of people aren't happy about it, and they are leaving their opinions known in Milestone's comments on our comment pages, on their social media, their Discord. So hopefully Milestone will respond with either patching this game and making it something that is playable, or at least fixing the next either Ride 5 or GP23, 4, I don't even know what year it is, so GP23 will be the next one, yeah, so hopefully they can learn from it, but I've been saying that for so bloody long now, and each year it comes around to a new game, and this is a situation where I'm like, well, this is broken, that's broken, and we're buggy. So again, the menus are okay, they seem to work. They've been a copy and paste across, so nothing really to talk about there. But I just, again, game modes are a little lackluster. There's very little going on. We've no historic mode, no historic bikes, and that leads me to my third point. Content. Now, this game is discounted from a full price game. Usually they charge around €59.99, €60, around $60, $70, and around 50 Great British Pounds. Now, they've discounted it to €40, 30-ish dollars and pounds, I believe, is the translation into the currencies. I still think it's slightly steep considering there's only 12 tracks. There is 3 game modes, one of them doesn't work, and you've only one class of motorbike, so you only have superbikes, so it's a bit harsh in my opinion to be charging only like 10-15 euros, dollars cheaper than what they would charge for a full game. I still think it's slightly overpriced, and that is one of my big factors that I'll take into point at the end when I give my overall rating. But the lack of content really does show, because again, we've played about 10-11 hours. I've done every track, I've done pretty much all bikes on all tracks. The fact that you can't play career mode, it leaves you very little to play on the game that isn't either time trial or messing around online, which leads me into online. Online is dead. It looks like not many people have bought this game. I did a post and a poll on my socials a couple of days before the game came out, asking people, are they going to buy it, they're going to hang off, wait for reviews, wait for a sale, or not touch Milestone's games. Again, most people were saying wait for sale and see the reviews. That was kind of overall the most, shall we say, voted for. And if this is a review you're watching, you haven't bought it, currently I have to say, don't buy it, wait for a sale. There isn't enough content to justify the price tag. The content that's in the game is broken, and there is no sign of Milestone either fixing said content or bringing more content, so it's not really anything to kind of boast about with this game. Graphically it's pretty nice, it sounds quite good, and yeah, that's about it. Physics are pretty poor. You're watching this race here of Toprak at Portimao. There's still massive flaws in the physics, as well as animation glitches that were in preview builds that, like we always said, preview builds don't mean anything to Milestone. They're showing off the final build with a preview sticker on. If you look at Toprak's left arm, a lot of the time it starts to bend out. There we go. On screen now you'll see a good few clips of it. And unfortunately that was in the preview build. No, it was drastically worse in the preview build, but still not fixed. So again, game rushed out with a lot of flaws, which really shows. The fact that online is so dead, even though it's within the first week of gameplay and game release, it's an utter shame really what Milestone are doing to the Dorna bike racing games. So my final rating, you probably can guess, it's not going to be an 8 out of 10. It is at the moment 5.5 out of 10. If they patch the curbs, if they patch the physics and improve the game overall, maybe finish the game might be one thing you could say. I probably would give it 7, and again it would be very heavily bland as a average arcade-ish bike game, but the fact there's so many things broken, a 5 or 5.5 really is where it's at. Slightly overpriced again, so it's just not really there. Now I really am interested to get your opinions on it down in the comments. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, what your opinion on it after the first week of gameplay, and what you think they need to fix most. But I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you did indeed enjoy it, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.